Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Bold and the Beautiful sees Brooke Logan falling hard, and it may be off a boat, not for the wedding proposal she's about to get. It goes down right after Ridge Forrester lashes out. We're going to talk about how an upcoming accident that causes Ridge's epiphany could see Nick Marone frantic because Brooke is in danger. So this week we've got Nick planning a romantic and magical surprise for Brooke. Despite them not having even one date, and they haven't seen each other in a good long while, Nick plans to take Brooke out on his favorite boat and ask her to marry him. Nick thinks Brooke should get off this ridiculous merry-go-round she's been on with Ridge for decades and choose his devoted one-woman love instead. I guess Nick is jumping at the chance to propose because, as Donna Logan said, every man's in love with Brooke, even my husband. I mean, well, Donna's kind of a dimwit, but my jaw dropped at that dialogue. Really, Donna, you're okay with that? If it's true, you have to wonder, is Eric Forrester trying to live vicariously through Ridge, and that's why he wants his son back with Brooke? I found that kind of icky and disturbing dialogue. That's Brad Bell for you. So anyway, Nick has got a big, beautiful rock, a gorgeous diamond in the box, and he's planning how he's going to propose to Brooke. He's fantasizing how it's going to go, but it looks like at least a couple of things go wrong, because Nick came to the marina where his boat is and was asking why the mechanic was tinkering with the steering wheel on his boat. That's a red flag of disaster that could have Brooke in serious trouble, and Ridge and Nick both worried for her life. We also know Ridge and Nick get into a fight this week. Seems more like a war of words than them taking swings at each other, but we can always hope. So we have this tense situation after the fashion show on Capri where Ridge is talking to Brooke. She keeps throwing Nick in Ridge's face, basically saying, "Dump Taylor Hayes. Choose me or I'm gonna go get with Nick." You know, it's a strategy for certain. It's salted earth, scorched earth, ultimatum stuff. Plus, bear in mind, Ridge's temper is frayed because Eric won't get off his back. He continues to harp on him to dump Taylor and get with Brooke before it is too late. We've been having these ominous warnings from Eric. Brad Bell is not being subtle with this writing. Not even a little bit. Brooke is on her choose me thing, and Nick strolls up. Ridge tells his brother to go away and says this doesn't involve him. But instead of leaving, Nick asks Brooke to come with him, and she glances over Ridge. Brooke's looking torn, but frankly, she's had it. In the spoilers this week, Ridge asks Brooke not to go with Nick, even though Ridge is still rejecting her. Brooke's upset. A spoiler from a very reliable leaker who's been 100% spot on said that she's going to tell Ridge, "Screw you." That's a drastic change in attitude. I don't know if Brooke's ever said that to him before. I'm excited to see it on Bold and the Beautiful. But yeah, Ridge doesn't want Brooke, but he also doesn't want her going off with Nick, who says he loves her. Bottom line, it's none of Ridge's business. Brooke's had enough. She tells him to step off, takes off with Nick, and there's a romantic lunch. They're going to be out boating, and Nick's got this huge plan to propose to Brooke. All sounds great, right? Until it's not, because Bold and the Beautiful isn't subtle. They are showing us that Nick's boat has some problem. Looks like something wrong with the steering, but maybe that was just the easiest thing for the mechanic to tinker with. We'll see. Based on a whole bunch of big clues, and we know from spoilers already that there's an accident that changes Ridge's mind. Looks like it's all about the boat. Eric has been hinting for like a week and a half now that Brooke could drop dead and Ridge would miss out on his chance to be with her forever. There's that leaked behind-the-scenes photo of Ridge diving into the water. To me, that adds up to Brooke falling off the boat, being at risk of drowning. For whatever reason, Nick can't get to her. Maybe because his boat is malfunctioning. I personally think it'd be wild if Brooke fell off Nick's boat right after he popped the question. That would be the best timing. The big diamond weighs her down. If Ridge is watching them like a stalker and sees Brooke tip off the boat, naturally Ridge would dive in to get her. We'll see how it goes, but I definitely expect Brooke to be in the water. Life or death stuff. Hero Ridge pulls her out. We get a flashback montage of their love story, the destiny, That keyhole scene yet again. Then bam, Ridge knows his father is right and Brooke is his destiny. Also, right after this, Nick is going to take off an unhappy man. His stint on Bold and the Beautiful is done. Jack Wagner couldn't stay long, just long enough to be a badly written plot device so Brad Bell could throw Taylor under the bus and put his favorite couple, Brooke and Ridge, back together. Another reason to assume that Brooke is the victim of some bad boating is a recent interview. In that interview, Ridge Forrester actor Torsten Kay said, "Maybe someone doesn't know as much as he thinks he does about boats." Since we know Ridge doesn't know much about boats, obviously he is talking about Nick, the sea captain, overestimating his boating abilities on a much smaller boat than he's used to captaining. That's why Brooke may end up overboard. It would be ironic for a guy like Nick, an experienced seaman, to lose his woman to the waves. Ridge is going to save her, have the big epiphany that Brad Bell leaked to an Italian magazine. We talked about it a while ago. I had the interview translated, and yeah, he said accident. Brad basically gave it all away. Then Ridge is going to have to dump Taylor. Brooke's going to be smug about stealing him back from Taylor. The one silver lining is Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood left LA, so she won't be there to rip her dad Ridge a new one for going back on his word and breaking Taylor's heart again. I wouldn't be surprised if Ridge rages at Nick, saying he almost got Brooke killed. Of course, I think she'd actually thank Nick, since if it is indeed his boating mishap that causes her to be in danger, then that means the accident got Ridge back. Brad Bell promised in the interview that Ridge and Brooke are endgame. They'll be together forever after this. It's all about to happen. The Italy scenes wrap up on Wednesday, August 6th. Expect Ridge to fall head over heels in love again once Brooke falls head over heels into the water. I would personally love to see Taylor slap Donna's honey bear, Eric, right in the face for sabotaging her and pushing Ridge at Brooke so much. Although ultimately, it's not Eric's fault that this happened. I also wonder how much scheming we're going to see Eric doing with Brooke and Ridge while they're in Italy now that he knows Taylor's not there keeping an eye on Ridge. But to be fair, if you have to keep that close of an eye on your man, you know he's probably not really your man. So get ready for danger leading up to that big bridge reunion. The LA coastline shimmered under the warm afternoon sun, but the glistening waves masked the storm brewing in Ridge Forrester's heart. At the Forrester estate, Ridge stood in the sunroom, fists clenched and jaw tight, as he stared out the massive windows. The usually calm designer was a ticking time bomb, and Brooke Logan was the spark that lit the fuse. Earlier that morning, Ridge had overheard a conversation he wasn't meant to hear. While passing the design office, he caught bits of dialogue between Brooke and Liam, a whispered, tense discussion about keeping the secret from Ridge a little longer. His heart had sunk like an anchor. What secret? Why was Liam involved? And more importantly, why was Brooke hiding something again? By midday, Ridge had confronted Brooke in the Forrester living room. "Are you keeping things from me again, Logan?" he demanded, his voice thick with accusation and years of heartbreak. Brooke, startled, turned to face him. "Ridge, what are you talking about? I heard you. You and Liam whispering about some secret. About me. What is it this time? Did you lie to protect Hope? Is Liam cheating again, and you're just helping him hide it from Steffi?" Brooke's eyes flashed, but she kept her tone calm. "You're blowing this out of proportion. That was the wrong answer." Ridge slammed his hand down on the table. "No, I'm finally seeing the truth. You always say you've changed, but it's the same Brooke, always caught in secrets, always choosing someone else over me when it matters most." Brooke's face crumpled with hurt, but she refused to back down. "Ridge, I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm trying to protect you from more pain. If you must know, Hope found out something about Thomas, and I promised I'd let her handle it on her own. It has nothing to do with us. Everything you do affects us, Brooke. Every lie you tell chips away at us." His voice cracked. "I can't do this anymore." Without another word, Ridge stormed out, leaving Brooke stunned and heartbroken. Later that day, needing space and clarity, Brooke made an impulsive decision. She called Donna and told her she was taking the family sailboat out on the bay. "I need the wind to clear my head," she said, trying to sound stronger than she felt. By late afternoon, Brooke was out on the boat alone. The sea was unusually choppy for a summer evening, but she didn't care. The salt in the air, the push and pull of the waves, and the breeze in her hair helped drown out Ridge's accusations. But what Brooke didn't know was that a small craft advisory had just been issued. A sudden squall was moving in fast, and she was far from the dock. As the boat rocked harder, Brooke tried to adjust the sails, but a strong gust of wind knocked the boom across violently. She ducked just in time, but the force sent her off balance. She hit her head on the deck and tumbled into the water, unconscious. Back at the marina, Donna grew worried. Brooke hadn't returned any texts. Storm clouds gathered overhead, and the temperature had dropped rapidly. She called Ridge in a panic. "Ridge, Brooke took the boat out hours ago. She's not answering. Something's wrong." Ridge's heart dropped. All the anger he'd carried earlier evaporated in an instant. What? Why didn't anyone stop her? Without waiting for a response, he grabbed his keys and raced to the marina. An emergency rescue was underway. The Coast Guard had been notified, and Ridge paced the dock as boats returned with no sign of Brooke. Night had fallen, and the crashing waves made it nearly impossible to see. Then came a flash of hope. A call came in. A private fishing boat had found a woman floating near the rocks, barely conscious. By the time Ridge reached the hospital, Brooke was already being wheeled into emergency care. Her face was pale, hair soaked, and a deep cut marked her forehead. Ridge felt like he couldn't breathe. He grabbed a nurse's arm. "Will she be okay? She's stable for now, but she has a concussion. She inhaled a lot of water. She's lucky to be alive." Ridge sat in the hospital corridor, his face buried in his hands. He couldn't believe what had happened. Hours ago, he had exploded at her, accused her of betrayal, and now he might lose her forever. The next morning, Brooke opened her eyes to the soft beeping of machines and the sterile scent of antiseptic. Her vision was blurry, but she saw Ridge sitting beside her, eyes red and full of regret. "Ridge?" she whispered. He instantly stood and gripped her hand. "Logan, thank God." His voice cracked. "I thought." He paused, unable to say it. "You're here," she whispered. "Even after everything I said, I almost lost you," Ridge said, tears falling freely. "And for what?" "Because I couldn't trust you. Because I let my pride win again." Brooke squeezed his hand. "We've both made mistakes." He leaned down and kissed her forehead gently. "When I thought you were gone, none of it mattered. Secrets, arguments. I realized I still love you. That hasn't changed." Brooke smiled weakly. "You always say I'm the drama, Ridge. But you're just as bad." Ridge chuckled through his tears. "You're right. But maybe we're just two people who were meant to ride out the storms together." Back at Forrester Creations, news of Brooke's accident spread fast. Steffi was shaken, Hope was in tears, and even Thomas looked haunted. The incident had sent shockwaves through the entire family. And as Brooke recovered slowly at home, Ridge stayed by her side, finally calm, finally clear. But this is the bold and the beautiful after all. Just when things seem peaceful, a new storm is always just beyond the horizon. Because while Ridge and Brooke mend their broken hearts, a shadowy figure watches from afar, someone with unfinished business, a grudge, and a secret of their own. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.